In the previous video, you learned the parts of a CERTO-fied body paragraph: the claim, the evidence, the rationale, transitions, and organization. But is that all there is to it? What's missing from this picture? If you said the steps to turn those ingredients into jelly, you're exactly right. Good paragraphs don't just appear because you've got all the right ingredients and utensils. You've got to work on them, and this part is where the CERTO method is most like making jam. For example, when you want to make jelly, or any food, you've got to decide what kind of flavor you want. Check your pantry to see what you already have, and then go to the store to buy ingredients. The flavor you choose will probably depend on your personal preferences, along with those of the people you plan to feed, and on the kind of meal you want to eat it with. For example, some people might like banana, onion, or lemon jam, but most people seem to like strawberry, peach, grape, or even orange marmalade, because those are familiar and go better with more foods. The same thing is true of writing a body paragraph. You have to decide what claim or idea you want to discuss, and then you'll probably decide that based on what's best for your audience and for your overall thesis or research question. You'll have to think about what you already know on the topic, then go do research to add more evidence and fill in any gaps in your knowledge. So both making paragraphs and making jam require planning and research. Once you're at the store, you probably don't want to just pick up any old ingredients and throw them in your jelly. You'll want to examine the fruit to make sure it's not rotten and check the expiration date on your sugar. This step is similar to the way you'll sort through evidence to only use the most factual, persuasive information. Bad intel makes readers put down your paper, just like rotten fruit makes people push away your jelly. Next, you'd always wash your hands before cooking, right? The same step is necessary when writing. You need to get rid of your own emotions and preconceived notions so you can think clearly and not contaminate your paragraph with biases. If readers get the impression that you're not open-minded or that you've added unnecessary baggage to your argument, they'll doubt you, just like eaters will get sick from contaminated food. Once you've done all that, you're ready to gather your materials, wash and chop your fruit, and measure out ingredients. After all, you don't want any outside dirt, bugs, or leafy stems in your jelly. And the same thing is true for your writing. You don't need to use every single word you found in your research or every little detail of your personal experience. Instead, you select just the parts you need by summarizing or quoting only the most relevant parts. And of course, you cite your information so no one thinks you plagiarized. Cutting your evidence down to size and citing it properly are similar to washing, cutting, and measuring your ingredients. What's left to do now? Mash your fruit, combine it with the sugar, but in a separate bowl before you put it in the jar. Just like a good writer, a good cook makes the food someplace else, someplace a bit more messy, before presenting the final dish on a plate. So just like a good cook, you'll need to gather all your evidence in your notes, where you can stir it around and make sense of it without everyone watching. Now you let the main ingredients come together and start to make a new flavor, while you mix the ingredients that will turn it all into a smooth gel. This step is similar to what happens when you're writing. You need to take a rest and let all your evidence come together while you figure out what it all means. As the ideas start to gel in your mind, you can write your topic sentence or claim and your rationale. Now, this is kind of the opposite of how most of us were taught to write essays in high school. The claim comes first and then you figure out how to prove it, right? No, wrong. Good, unbiased writers go where the evidence leads them. They don't lead the evidence. So gather your ingredients, cook them up, and then decide what they mean and write your claim and rationale. This step is similar to pouring your jelly into the jar and putting the lid on. Finally, you're ready to let your jelly sit. These final steps are similar to what you do when you put one body paragraph aside and focus on writing the other parts of your essay. The jelly is just one part of the whole meal, so you need to put it aside and work on the other parts. Just like a body paragraph is just one piece of your whole essay that needs to go with all the rest. Once you've got your whole essay together, you're ready to show it to people and let them enjoy it. This is the same as sitting down to breakfast or dinner with your homemade jam on the table, ready for others to eat and compliment you on. So as you can see, the CERTO method of developing paragraphs is very similar to the method for making jelly. Both require several different ingredients and utensils, as well as planning, research, and time to make one smooth mixture that goes well with a bigger experience. If you're not quite sure, let's look at an example from the video you've just been listening to. Here it is. Once you're at the store, you probably don't want to just pick up any old ingredients and throw them in your jelly. You'll want to examine the fruit to make sure it's not rotten and check the expiration date on your sugar. This step is similar to the way you'll need to sort through evidence to only use the most factual, persuasive information. Bad intel makes readers put down your paper, just like rotten fruit makes people push away your jelly. What is the one claim that this paragraph tries to prove? Which parts give the evidence and rationales to back up that claim? Where are the transitions? If you said that the first two sentences give evidence from everyday life, you're right. The main point or claim of the paragraph is in the third sentence. You'll need to sort through evidence to only use the most factual, persuasive information. The whole paragraph is trying to show you how to choose evidence for your own paragraph, and the jelly example is there to help you understand. The rationale comes in the final sentence, which clarifies why you need to believe the claim and re-explains the similarity between selecting jam ingredients and selecting paragraph evidence. The transitions lead us from the previous paragraph, which was about planning, to the next one, and from the evidence at the beginning of the paragraph to the main claim in the third sentence. And that's it. A somewhat different method, but one that helps you use the right process to write the paragraph. Now, if that's too much to remember, you can always try another acronym, CLEVIR. Good body paragraphs are clever or smart because they include claims, evidence, and rationales. Happy writing and best of luck.